Hi, I'm Divan,
And I'm Teresa.
and this is the Spectrum Standard.
Standard.
So today we've got a special guest. I'm going to say it, I like to brag about the people we work with. This is our top agent, Dawn Visser. I'm assuming I'm saying it correctly, South African Visser, right? Because I know, Teresa, can you repeat that for us, how you would say it?
I knew you'd say this. Visser.
Visser. All right, I love it when Teresa says it. So today we're going to be speaking to Dawn about something that happened recently in her life. She made a very nice LinkedIn post about it. I loved it. I think we had a lot of comments on that, Dawn. I don't know if you keep watch on your comments. I think the other day I saw it was over 30 comments already. It just gives us testimony that the refreshing way you looked at this situation is the way we're going to go in the industry. So Teresa, I don't know if you want to just give us a bit of background on that, and then we're going to have Dawn speak about it.
Yeah. So when I was chatting to Dawn, as I said to you, and she mentioned to me that a buyer had come to her that she was working with and wanted to look at a property that was on with another agent, and the other agent wouldn't share and said no. So Dawn, being one of the top agents, or the top agent, should I say, one of top agent in our business, Dawn, maybe top agent in one of in your area, but I think you're top. Being Dawn, she said to the buyer, I'm not going to stand in your way. I'm going to refer you through to the so you go and have a look at the property yourself with the other agent. And she ended up buying it.
Yeah, she did.
And then she came back to you a short while after and said that she was so happy with you, she wanted your board up on her front gate,
Yeah.
saying, we recommend Dawn. And she even shared that on all of the local sort of WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, and she did.
Which is a real testament to the service that you gave her. And probably, as we were talking about, it's going to come back tenfold.
Absolutely. And that's how it works. It's building a network, getting a good referral going. And yeah, she will, I sort of talked her through the whole process, went around to see the renovations. I'm going back again. So it's part of building your network and getting a good referral system. And being part of somebody's journey. They were first-time buyers, so it was fabulous.
This wasn't the one that flew in and had no bed or furniture. It's another one. I was in the car with Dawn and she was like, having this conversation about, okay, well, I think we can manage to get you a bed. I'm going to put it out to a few friends of mine, and you managed to get some cag beds for them.
I put it out. I would offer a bottle of champagne, real champagne, for a blow-out bed, and the lady said, no, I'll have a pot of coffee.
Okay.
Obviously in the champagne.
And ask for expect the coffee. And I love that. I think, Dawn, you can really write a book about your experience. But I think that being so inspiring, sometimes you in your real estate career also get to the topic that we're actually going to be chatting about today. And that is about fence sitting. So fence sitting is such a interesting perspective. Myself, I'm a very driven person. My wife always complains at me. She says, you don't even consider all the facts. Meanwhile, I thought about this for 7 years and 2 days. I've researched 700 websites. But when I need to make a decision, I make it on the spot. But sometimes you get to a point where you have to be like, okay, let me just check that out. And I think for you, when considering Spectrum Realty as an option to work with, do you feel like that was the feeling you had at the initial conversations? Maybe just sitting on the fence, just seeing, should I go for this or should I not?
Oh, sure. Look, it's the fear of the unknown. I was very comfortable where I was. I've been with them for 12, 13 years. I knew my principals well. I got along with all the agents. We had a great team assistant. It was everything I knew.
Comfort zone.
It was my complete comfort zone. So it was like, if I leave here, where am I going? What is the expectations from the principal for me? Yeah, fear of unknown. It's a big step.
And you've also built relationships with those people on a personal level because you work with them in every day.
Yeah.
And it's that what's going to happen to that relationship that I've got with them, what are they going to think about me?
Yes, and also because if you go away, then there's always somebody else in the office that you know well enough to say, can you manage my stock for me? They wouldn't, that wasn't going to happen straight away to Spectrum. So, yeah, just fear of unknown.
Yeah, okay. So then sort of in the life of an agent, and we'll talk about this in a generic capacity, we have conversations with agents all the time that are working for other brands, and that's part of our job role as leadership. And you'll often find that they are fence sitters. They're like, oh, God, that sounds so tempting, but the grass isn't, it looks a bit greener, but it isn't always. It's just sometimes there's a bit more manure in that grass to make it greener. And maybe you're fluffing this beautiful company up to us. And no, I'm just going to sit here for a little while and observe. You made the decision because of something that happened in your journey, which I appreciate you might not want to go into now.
What actually happened was I knew I was bringing in the most commission, and that was okay because it was a traditional real estate company 50-50 where they pick up the tab for everything, but so that's how you sort of write that 50% off. But then I started thinking about it and I thought maybe I should actually get a bit more of a split. And when I approached them, they said they weren't able to do that. And that sort of made me feel a little bit disappointed and a little bit resentful.
And undervalued.
And I just don't like to work with that kind of, you don't want resentment.
Yeah.
You don't want to have that when you walk in the office and feel, hang on guys, you could have done that.
Yeah.
So that was sort of, or like you say you think about it, that happened and I thought, and every day I just kept thinking, and yeah.
And eventually that become very long and like, nothing gets done. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then you made the decision to join our team.
Yeah.
And let's talk about how that's gone since.
Great. Really, really great. That was a really... No, look at what there was the scare factor for me. Well, you will know, Divan, because I'm not IT smart. And I'd never had to do things like load my own listings before and do all the follow-up through. I mean, I was sales in my documents and that was it.
Yeah.
So there was always that lady doing everything for me. So when I joined, that was a big fear. But it's like anything, you do it once and then you do it twice and it gets better. And at Spectrum, there are people I can pick up the phone and you answer the call or you come back to me. So...
Yeah, I must say that I remember the first time I've met Dawn and she was just starting out when you set up computer. And I remember her walking in, her first words to me is, I don't do computers. And her eyes were wide and I'm like, Dawn, don't stress, we'll sort it out. And we sorted it out, we got everything done. And I remember walking away from that conversation and saying, I get it. I get why people feel scared of change because this perfect system that's been, I mean, in your case, you didn't have to still had to figure out the business. You figured out the business. You've got your referral network. You've got your people that's going to work with you. You were a top agent before. You still are. You didn't need to change anything, but you felt like the change was necessary for you to grow. And I think then going to have to start a whole new system, I think that is the scariest thing you can do in your life. Yeah. And I have to commend you. You took that on.
We don't get any calls from her now, do we?
Well, everyone does.
And then I'm loving like, it's Dawn, and it's such a lovely chat before, and we always have a conversation about having wine with girlfriends. Well, not me, I don't have wine with girlfriends, but she'll have wine with it's always pleasurable because I think if you work towards a common goal, and I think that is the most important thing when we talk about fence sitting, is you want to see the person on the other side. The goal is aligned with your goals. I'm not going to move to another company if I feel like the only reason they want me on their team is to get more sales, is to use me, rather than, I see that they want me to build my business in conjunction with their business. And I think that's one thing that's very important when you are sitting on the fence, is looking at the other company and making that decision, are their goals in line with mine?
Yeah.
And maybe you can attest to that, maybe you can say yes or no.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, absolutely. I really do think that at Spectrum, it's we're not a big corporate company, we're a growing company. But I also feel like there's all the support there that you want. And one thing I really like about Spectrum is that everybody is celebrated. It doesn't matter if you sell for $1 million or 10 million, everybody is celebrated, and I think that's great.
Yeah, and I think, we talked about culture in our last episode. I think having that culture, that's important. And that's the thing. I can sit down with a potential recruit and I can have a conversation and I can say, we are, one team and we have these values, but it's only when you come in that you can actually see that. I had someone last week, and I mentioned it at our team meeting earlier. She said to me, no manager has ever sat down with her and done goal setting or one-to-one. What are you doing? How can we improve it? How can we help you grow that business? And I know that you're actually mentoring a couple of candidates at the moment and doing that with them.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah.
One thing I do think, and that's where culture becomes important when we look at the fence sitting. You don't want someone to pull you off the fence and maybe hurt you, like they force you into a decision.
Yeah.
This is an analogy. I'm being poetic. Call me William Shakespeare. I'm gonna trade for call me William. Anyway, so you don't want someone that pulls you from the fence and forces you into a decision. You want a team that said, okay, let us help you off that fence. Let's give you a ladder. Let's make it easy steps to come into where you want to be. And I think one of the things at Spectrum is when we get somebody new into the office, the first thing you'll notice, and I absolutely love this about our team, and I want to commend the team for that, is when someone new walks into the office, it's not a stiff-lipped.
Who are they?
They're always like, hi, I'm Yanni. Hi, I'm Dawn. I'm Divan. How are you? How can you help? What are you going to do here? How can we assist you? And I think when you're a fence sitter, that is also a huge help. If you can use that ladder that the team brings you to step into your new.
You're welcome.
Exactly.
And even with the two offices, one being northern suburbs, one being southern suburbs, when we come together once a month as our team meeting, everyone knows everybody.
Yeah.
We've got all the team members up on the wall in both offices now, which is so cool because if you're talking to someone and you're not quite sure who they are, you can just have a quick nip off to the board. That was Yanni. Okay, not that nobody knows Yanni because
Yanni makes himself known.
Absolutely. So, so I think that's probably wrapped up our fence sitting, hasn't it?
Yeah. Dawn, it was such an honor speaking to a top agent. I get starstruck when I speak to famous people. And I think you're like famous in our spheres. But I chat to you a lot. So I've met somebody famous. I feel like I can say that. Thank you very much for taking the time. We know that you build your business on the right values. And we feel honored at Spectrum that you want to do it with us. I think that's a very big thing for us.
Yeah.
That's a yawn. Thanks, Shaw. Thank you very much for watching the episode. We will see you on the next one. Tune in for that.
Thank you.
Bye.